I wanted to repeat an exercise or two just because I've noticed my form is a little off when I checked the video the other day. So full body again, 9 exercises. You know the drill. So you're going to run through one at a time, different exercises, and then if you want to split it up on your own and do things a little differently when you're doing it, either do one exercise, 3-4 sets of one, and then switch and switch. Obviously, remember take breaks, etc. So the straight leg deadlift I did the other day, I just want to make sure that you're engaging through your shoulder blades, because last time I noticed when I went into the bottom position, my shoulders were quite rolled and I was kind of hunched back. So just make sure you kind of do, I guess I like to call it a reverse shrug, even though it's not quite a reverse shrug. But when you bend down, get the weight towards your feet, your back should be relatively flat and not curved like that. So just make sure you do make that little correction. So I just wanted to review this exercise. That's why I threw this guy in today. Obviously weight appropriate, so you can get 10 reps plus minus. This weight might be a little light, but I just want to make sure I can do proper form. And another reason why it's kind of a great idea to watch yourself exercise by filming yourself from time to time and just checking your own technique, because you kind of sometimes think you're doing the right thing and then you watch it back on video, you're like, oh crap, that was actually not the cleanest squat or whatever movement you're trying to achieve. Okay. I like to do, I guess, reverse grip, I'll call that. So palms facing up. I just find that personally more comfortable than palms facing down. And that's actually more of a, which technically your anatomical position, we call that, with your palms up versus palm down. Basically put your shoulders in a bit more of a neutral position, we call it. So me preference, I like to do that. Some may like to do one up, one down, one up, one down. And if you're going to do that, just make sure between sets you're switching back and forth so you're getting a bit of balance. But feel free to do whatever grip you feel comfortable with. Okay, right next is our row. So I usually like to do these as a superset when I do this straight leg deadlift, just because it's nice and easy and you're already set up for it. Just remember that reverse shrug, so don't let yourself roll out. Tighten up through the shoulder blades and make sure you're trying to get your chest as parallel to the ground as possible. And then that bar should be coming right in front of your knees and driving up towards your belly button. I had somebody in the gym here earlier with me, so this is actually my 4th round already. I'm definitely a little bit more tired than I typically am. I always try to film these videos when I'm pretty fresh, just so you can kind of see the best technique that I got here. But just due to time and all that, I wasn't able to today. I'm going to back up the camera a bit. So I'm going to do a step up, step down on this bar or bench. Just a little bit different, but a easy exercise to cheat on. So I'll talk you through it as we go. Again, feel free to not use any weight and just focus on body weight. I'm always trying to throw in some extra stuff to get more bang for your buck. But again, obviously, technique is probably number one. And comment below if you see my techniques off, because this is a relatively difficult exercise to do at best, even with body weight. But we'll see how I can do it. So, I'm going to carry this weighted bar over my head. Dumbbells works fine. Even just have your hands over your head with no weight. Just kind of keeps your posture true and vertical, and then keeping that chest up. Okay, so foot up on the platform. I always like to think about engaging through the glutes. So I'm going to slide my hips back when I put my foot up here, and really concentrating that top leg to push yourself up on rather than pushing off the ground. And then from this top position, I'm going to step forward and again, eccentrically load slowly down as best you can, easier said than done. Watch that wobble of the knee. And when you come back up, you're using that standing leg, or in my case, my left leg, to do the lift and then to do the raise. So ideally, if you can, I wouldn't put my foot down, but see, I cheated. I'd put my foot down and down. Then my left leg's engaging to pull up and then back down. So like I said, ideally, let's see if I can do it this time. Up and then straight down. Watch that knee wobble. See my knees wobbling a little bit. need to engage some of the glutes a little bit better, and then back down. So obviously, even myself with this weighted bar is maybe even a little heavy for me, as you can tell, with that knee wobble. And then as I start getting tired, I start pushing a little bit more, right? Shoulders are trying to give out. So again, you're trying to do a smooth step up over the box and then down, and then a smooth step up, like reverse, and then down. So quite a tricky exercise to do on itself with no body weight. So highly suggest to do that with no weight to start, then build your way up. Like I said, I'm just throwing in this extra bar, which is maybe even a little bit more advanced for me. And obviously I could choose a lighter bar. I'm going a little heavy. I think this is what, 30 pounds even. So probably a little bit too heavy for me, but just for the sake of this video, again, I'm sacrificing form to demonstrate, which is probably not a good idea. Okay, other leg. So again, before I move, I try to engage my glute by sliding my hips back a little bit, really pushing with that top leg rather than pushing off the ground. Up and over, slow down, watch that knee wobble. Really try to keep, if anything, the leg a little bit further out than in. I don't want to be collapsing my knees together, right? So you don't want to be doing the knocking, you'd rather be doing bow legs, but let's not overemphasize the bow leggedness either. Really try to have a nice solid straight line down from my hip, through my knee, through my foot, throughout that movement. Easier said than done. This is actually a quite advanced exercise, quite difficult to do. I might do 1 or 2 with this bar, and then I'm going to drop the bar and do it with a couple without. So as you can see, it's pretty hard for me to do with that bar. That's a lot. Lose a bar. A couple even without my hands or anything. I'm just going to have my hand at my side, engaging through the glutes, sliding the leg back. Try to stand up nice and tall. Step through it. Watch the knee wobble. And then pushing up through that leg to come up. Step all the way through and back down. So as you can see, with no weight, that's a little bit easier for me, and I don't wobble as much in that leg. The wobble, I mean kind of going laterally. Okay, I'm in. Woo! Tired. So you said, as I work through my sets, I definitely get more fatigued as they go, especially because I don't take a huge amount of breaks, as you can tell, between, but definitely hydrate between, catch your breath. You don't want to feel lightheaded or dizzy or whatnot when you're doing this kind of stuff. Just because I didn't hit my quad too much with that one, I'm going to do my little kind of end range lunge, I call it, with the weight overhead, getting in my lunge position. And then I basically have my knee on the ground, but I'm just going to pump it 3 or 4 inches off the ground. Really have weight through my back leg as my primary focus. So like I said, I have probably 2/3 my weight on my back foot and just 1/3 on the front foot. And then get that nice big burn through the top of my, or I guess it would be the bottom of my quad. Nice and tall through the posture. Big burn there. Feels good. Okay. Getting there. This is actually a pretty quick routine today, which is kind of nice. So you can get through it a little quicker and hopefully have time for 4 sets, depending on how much time you're planning to spend. I hooked up this machine to do hamstring curls on. Not the best bench for this exercise, but thought I should just throw these in because I was actually noticing the kind of unbalance in my quads versus hamstrings. And obviously your hamstrings are probably not typically as strong as your quads. That's just kind of how it works. Your quads are a more powerful muscle, but I'm quite imbalanced, as you'll see here. So I'm gonna start with some hamstring curls. And really try not to cheat. Keep my body flat against the bench here. Pretty easy exercise, hopefully self-explanatory. My hands are weak, as you can see. That is challenging for me there. And I'm going to just superset for the quad extension. So that was tough for me to, I think I pumped out 10 actually. I didn't count, but I think that was about 10. 2 legs on the hand curl. But I can do this same weight with 1 leg for my knee extensions. Let me adjust the thing here a bit. So, oops. As you can see, my hams are, can't move this anymore. My hams are significantly weaker than my quads. Whereas, like I said, I could do, using that same weight, it takes me 2 hamstring legs and only 1 quad leg here. So I can pump this out relatively easy. Actually, I could probably load that up even more versus on my hamstring. That was probably my max load. I wouldn't want to go any heavier on my hams. But as you can, my quads could probably even handle slightly a little bit more on that. Although whatever how many I did there was pretty tiring actually. So maybe that's about right to get more balance. Obviously, I want to work up those hams a little bit more, and then maybe kind of do a ratio of 2 ham exercises for 1 quad over the next kind of 6 weeks or so, and see if I can regain some kind of more evenness between my hams and my quads. Okay, I'm going to throw in a little back exercise just because I only did the 1 row. I'm going to do a reverse fly, but just do a little bit of added something so I could work the core as well, because I was a big proponent of trying to fit in kind of multiple exercises at the same time if I can. Let me see if I'm going to be in this screen there. No, come from a different angle there. If you can see me here. I'm going to go relatively light just because a few things going on for this guy. Getting a ball, find a nice solid wall. This is actually, in fact, a door. But the door swings inwards, so it'll swing towards me. So if somebody walked in, I'm not going to go flying off. Ball under my hips. So I'm going to do a back extension and then the reverse fly at the same time. Kind of keep that neutral posture through my neck. Hopefully you're seeing that. Sometimes I even like to lead with my thumbs. And again, keeping that anatomical position from the shoulder. This is actually working the hams as well a little bit. So a good kind of multi-body part exercise. Oh, gosh. Dying a little bit here. Woo! Tired. Like I said, 4th round through. Again, moving at this kind of a pace. What is that? I think I said 9 exercises, 4 rounds through. Do that within an hour, you're doing pretty good. Okay, last, I'm just going to do my chest stuff. I've done these before, so hopefully nothing too fancy or unfamiliar, but are a couple things you could do for these to try to vary them up. I don't have the equipment with me, unfortunately, but getting a band and like tying it underneath the bench, so then you're pushing not only the weight of the weight, but also getting the resistance of the band. And as an elastic goes, the more you stretch it, the harder it gets. So you get that very high intense resistance at the top of your press, which just challenge you slightly differently, right? I'm just gonna go slow tempo up and down. So 5 down, 5 up in terms of count. So 5 beats down, 5 beats up. Slow and controlled. Really kind of test your strength and make sure you're isolating and not cheating. Because it's hard to cheat when you go slow like that. And again, try not to arch the ribs. And get a nice solid burn. Feel a lot in my triceps today. And that slow tempo is hard to maintain because my body wants to really rush and push this up and down really quick to push out the reps. But for my case, I don't really care personally how many reps I do. I just want to go to fatigue. And like I said, it's time under tension, right? So even though I might not be getting as many reps as I probably could if I just went at a faster tempo, the time that I'm loaded is equal to, if not more, than it would be if I just blasted these out super fast. So that was actually super challenging. Finish off with a fly. Same deal. I'm going to go slow. And so kind of 5 up, 5 down tempo. And like I said, right into it. If you want to take a break, take a water break, catch your breath, pause for a moment, get back into it. So elbow straight as best you can, straighter the better. 5 down, 5 up. Obviously, breathing is your friend. You want to make sure you're breathing. Ideally, long, deep breaths rather than kind of breaths, right? Hyperventilating type of breath. Slow, steady. Kind of my preferential breathing is breathing in during the quote unquote easy phase and then breathing out. Holy shit, during the exertion phase. I'm tired, so I can't even hold my breath, but I guess hold the exhale, inhale for long enough. Again, because I'm going slow tempo too, I guess. But as you can tell, I'm huffing and puffing a little bit today. One more. All right, guys. That's it for today. That was a quick little set, that one. If I'm not mistaken, that was 9 exercises, right? So blast that out 3-4 times. You're gonna be pretty bagged, you're gonna be pretty ripped and jacked and feeling pretty good. Get those endorphins, get the adrenaline going a little bit, get the dopamine hit, and you're off and ready to rock. Have a nice day, guys. We'll see you next time.